Hello, and welcome to episode 61 of the Extreme Hardware Podcast. Today we have a pretty full crew today. We've got, first starting with Chris.
Simmons is really bad at this.
I really am. We've also got Alex.
Hola.
We've got Jack.
Hola.
And we've also got Kat.
Hold on.
Awesome. We botched our intro because we're really bad at technology. It's amazing that we're doing this podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, we're technology enthusiasts.
Yeah.
We're technologists.
We're just a bunch of friends having fun.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Are we really having fun?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm having a lot of fun.
This is
All right,
great.
well, I can actually just close out of the Twitch tab because there is no reason to have that open.
Oh, you're mean.
I'm popping out chat, but there's no reason to have the video open.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Because I can't get Simmons points to make Simmons eat and spicy waters snack.
Call outs to my personal stream. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on to our first topic. So, after a couple botched Windows updates, Microsoft has acknowledged that recent Windows updates are causing instability issues, specifically for people playing video games. Now, What people have reported is that either games are experiencing more choppy gameplay, so more extreme frame rate dips than normal. Some people, their games are just crashing straight up after the recent update. And from what Microsoft has identified with this update is that primarily it's associated with multi-monitor setups and people running games that are either full screened or windowed.
Yep.
So basically, if you're running a game and have more than one screen.
Yep, that's it.
Wait, when did this update come out?
These past couple of updates, I think the first one dropped 2 months ago, and the most recent one I think occurred 2 weeks ago, or at least that's when it was pushed to my computers.
Because I do have issues sometimes, and I never, thought that was the reason why.
I had those issues, and then the issues ended up being the opposite, where if I had a stream or something open on another screen while playing a game, the stream would be laggy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and as far as I can tell, it's just it has to deal with Windows just mishandling GPU scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the funniest part about it is that the fact that they identified that it was due to multiple monitor setups, which which actually segues perfectly into our next topic.
Well, don't go to that yet because I got something to say about this. I'm mad at Microsoft.
Okay, go for
it. Why am I doing fast ring testing if regular users get this update pushed? I never did. I never had this problem. This is why I tell people to go in fast ring, because you won't get problems. People on regular builds get problems.
Which is absolutely opposite of what it should be.
Yeah, I should have tested this. I should have been complaining in Discord about this to you guys. And then you guys would have been like, well, yeah, that's because you're on fast ring. But no, that's never happened.
And it'll be Windows, ma'am.
Yeah. The actual official Microsoft suggested guidance for this is they have a
unplug your second monitor.
They have a known issue rollback feature where you can literally just go into your Windows update settings and just roll back to a previous build. It's obviously going to basically reinstall Windows, or not reinstall. It's going to basically function like a standard Windows update, but it's just going to revert back to the known stable build. And in this case, it's going to revert back, I think, 3 builds just to get to help correct the issue. And
hang on. There's an issue with that. Flight Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
It won't work.
Oh, really?
You need a newer build of Windows for it to even launch.
That
was one of the games I had issues with.
You don't know how far back this is going and what type of things this is. I doubt this is a whole... bloody hell, what's the thing called again? The big updates. Service pack.
It's not a service pack build. It's quite literally
just some KBs that they're going to roll back. I wouldn't worry too much about that. You probably find that they actually haven't been pushed to most people because updates are all over the place. Honestly, in terms of you just have two different Windows machines, and you'll see like, oh yeah, no, I've got updates on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my desktop hasn't got that update. It'll be like a month later. Oh, it finally got it now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I know
this is why I just have Enterprise, and I turn off updates. And before I actually do an update, I just clone the boot drive to another disk.
That's a lot of effort.
Not particularly, honestly.
No, it's not.
Well, it is a lot more effort than just clicking update.
Well, the problem that would be correct. However, it's Windows 10, which means I have to assume it's going to fuck up.
Yep.
What are you eating?
I'll be honest. I actually haven't had Windows updates break my computer, any of my computers, but I have had. Well, okay, I haven't had them break my computer beyond repair. But what I have had, or my software beyond repair, what I have had is them break other things. Like I have this really weird bug where with Bitdefender Free plus Windows Update, it'll kill Bitdefender Free and it'll kill Microsoft Windows Defender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't run either of them. I can't uninstall or install either of them. And the only way to fix it is to reinstall Windows. But luckily, there's a pretty easy way to
solve your problem if you cloned your C drive to a spare hard drive.
Yes, but the time spent reinstalling Windows these days is actually about 20 minutes, and you can keep all your stuff. And I'm not talking about like
you're talking about
literally reinstalling. I'm talking about downloading the Windows Media Disk Creation tool, double click, install. Here's the ISO. Double click on that.
The only issue I will say with that is, at least with Windows pre 2020, even if I did that, that would only buy me time for a couple months before things started losing stability again. So after like doing that like 3 times, I would just give up and I would just do a fresh reimage, because quite frankly, it's just, I know it's a pain in the ass to get everything set back up again, but Windows stays stable for so much longer if you just reimage.
Do you want to? Something I wish that actually more developers would do is Vulkan supported on Unix? By the way,
I'm actually not sure.
I swear Windows Stronghold is 90% DirectX. Like the reason why most of us are on it, because there's so many apps these days. Like the other argument was DirectX and EXEs, because people used to make a lot of EXEs, but not a lot of not a lot of alternatives for Mac OS or Linux. But nowadays, there's lots of parallel stuff except for DirectX.
Just throw out your Windows machine and buy one of the new iMacs.
No, I'm not an idiot.
Not yet. It's not completely there yet.
Yeah.
Jack, once again, this is what I mean by like clone my disk before I do big updates.
Yep. Yeah, no, honestly,
partition boot flag like that, that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Simply pop in the drive and restore it.
No, I have an old M.2 drive that I'm not using anymore, but I recently picked up like a $15 M.2 to USB housing, and I've been doing that after some updates. It's quick enough. It's 10 gigabit USB, so the clone back takes little effort.
I was using a 9-year-old laptop hard drive because that's the only terabyte drive I had lying around. But, now that I've got one. The spice.
The jalapeno chips really do be hitting hard.
Yeah, I've got a 118 gig Optane drive as my boot drive now, so I can just clone that onto a $15 SSD.
Right.
Which is great.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to just interrupt. Andrew, what server are you on?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, how about you guys work that out in voice lobby or something?
I'm trying to, but he's ignoring me.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so then moving on to our next Microsoft-related topic. So this was posted on EHW by... give me a second. I believe this was posted by Avocado. But No, this was posted by Ganja SMK. So there's been a long history of issues with Windows not supporting multi-monitors, like what we just recently mentioned. But in regards to inappropriately handling...
Don't get me started on this fucking... Sorry, excuse me. Go on, read the article.
Yeah, so it's specifically regarding the Windows multi-monitor sleep issues where, and I get this on my work laptop, where some screens will just permanently go to sleep until you disconnect the display and turn it back on and plug it back in.
Oh my God, that happened with my new work computer.
Yeah.
And my regular desktop doesn't do that, but the first time it went to sleep and I went to go wake it up, I was like, what the hell? I had to turn it off and turn it back on again, and it finally worked.
I didn't have this with my old monitor, but yeah, my new monitor will do that. When it turns off, it will momentarily disconnect from Windows. Windows will just forget that it existed, and it will just yeet every application to wherever it wants. Huge pain in the dick.
Yep. Out of interest, are both of you on HDMI for these displays?
I've tried HDMI. I've tried DisplayPort. I have tried downgrading the version of HDMI and DisplayPort in my monitor settings. Doesn't work. I've done DisplayPort to HDMI, HDMI to HDMI, DisplayPort to DisplayPort. Doesn't work.
Yeah, no. The monitors
FreeSync on, FreeSync off doesn't help.
The monitors for my work laptop, they're DisplayPort. And then my old monitor that I used to experience this with before my current iteration of this computer was over HDMI.
Yeah, mine was HDMI.
So yeah, according to Microsoft, Windows build 21287 is going to actually correct this issue. I don't believe it's actually going to fix it. And I know with my work laptop, that patch is not going to be fixed until probably 2022, just knowing their update cycle. So yay. I mean, I think this is cool. I hope this actually fixes for some people, but I'm not going to see it anytime soon. And also, my other workaround that I had for this was all of my monitors, like my auxiliary monitors, are hooked up to infrared like AC power switch, essentially. So I just have a remote control that hard kills the power to the monitors. So I would just flip the button on that and flip it back on, and it would correct itself because, well, it's basically the same thing as unplugging it at that point.
Well, my solution is that I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, that's poggers for you. So two things. Number one, this was actually really exacerbated for me because I had a setting flipped where Windows would go to a screensaver after 15 minutes of inactivity, and the monitors would shut off after like an hour, I think. And I kept extending the time because this problem was so annoying.
Yep.
But it would only be like, I can't remember if it was 2 minutes or 5 minutes, but it like no matter what I set it to, a couple minutes after the screensaver turned on, monitors all go off.
Yep.
Which, great, thanks. If you like manually lock it, it's a couple minutes before the screensaver trips. Whole thing sucks. But also, Alex, with regard to the video port, so one of the fixes that I found, and it did, I don't want to say it helped, but I can see why it might solve the problem for some people. If you shuffle around which monitors are plugged into which video ports on your GPU, then you can reorder them. You can reorder the monitor numbers within Windows. And let's say you have 3 monitors and monitor number 3 is your problem monitor. In that case, it's less of an issue as opposed to if it's monitor 1 that disconnects, because then it will renumber the other 2. So 2 becomes 1 and 3 becomes 2.
Yeah.
And it'll just yeet everything around like that. But if it's the highest number monitor that turns off, then it's not as bad a problem.
And I had that issue with my setup where, because with a lot of my screen captures that I utilize for just doing my Windows mirroring of the display to my screen for when I'm working from home, it's always monitor 2, which is my top monitor. And Yeah, my primary monitor decided it wasn't going to wake up after the most recent Windows update. So
Yeah, that's a problem.
great. So I really, really hope that this actually corrects that problem. I don't have any high expectations, though.
Just
Yeah, I
want
don't have
Windows 7
expectations.
with Windows 10's GUI over it.
Hey, what now?
I just want Windows 7, but Windows 10's GUI over it.
Yeah, honestly.
There's a lot of subtle things about Windows 10 that I do like over Windows 7, but Jesus Christ, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks by design. It's software as a service. It's a perpetual beta build. If you're Jack, then you're doing alpha builds forever.
Yeah.
Why? Did I download Slide Teddy? I hope I downloaded Slide Teddy. I'm going to save Slide Teddy.
Teddy doesn't know how slides work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teddy's not good at slides.
So, moving on to our next topic, because we're on that software bug trend. So, NVIDIA has made an announcement saying that GPU owners are now warned about a serious driver bug that has recently come out, and you should update now. So, it appears to be a security vulnerability. It could allow a malicious attacker to replace application contents with compromised files. That attacker would need access to your local system first, which would need to be compromised through another attack.
I didn't.
I think the big takeaway from this is local access, and a comment that Avocado made on the forum, which was, forgive my mistrust, but somehow I feel like this is an attempt to get VBIOSes updated to prevent mining.
Honestly, yeah.
It probably isn't.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I understand the lack of trust, though, because it's suspicious timing.
It is.
I don't understand the lack of trust because PC gamers are, for the most part, paranoid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, they've always been like this. Oh, Intel has management engine in your CPU so they can sell your data to the NSA. It's like, yep, you got it, buddy. Just gonna tussle your hair and send you on your way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no conspiracy here. It's probably a bug.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is. I mean, I do but then given like what NVIDIA has been trying to push with their forcing specific VBIOSes and drivers to restrict mining GPUs so they can sell their CMP GPUs. I understand where Avocado is coming from. I just feel like it is a little bit. It's a little bit sketchy, and especially since that for the people who do genuinely care about mining, they can just revert back to that leaked version of the driver, which has it completely unlocked anyway. So.
Yeah, they're going to start blowing fuses and new GPUs most likely.
It's fine.
RTX 3060s manufactured after a certain date are going to have like a certain VBIOS or something, but there's also going to be another feature. So I guess TLDR for those who aren't in the know, a lot of microprocessors have fuses in them, like literally fuses, bits of wire that can be blown up. And what they let you do is you can do a one-time write to the CPU that can't be, or process GPU, whatever, BIOS chip, any integrated circuit.
Yep.
So by blowing those fuses, you can like write data one time in a way that can't be reversed. So that's used in a lot of consoles, for instance. So you can't like downgrade the firmware. But let's say NVIDIA has that in their GPUs. Well, they can just blow a few fuses and suddenly, hey, this driver is too old. We can't use that. Like it will just disagree with the driver and never work. Now, what's realistically going to happen is somebody's going to hack the driver and spoof the version number so it can still be used within like a week. But, we'll see how it goes. That's a speculation, but that like makes the most sense. Oh god, and the mining GPUs are all going to be Turing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh god, everything sucks.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest hobby. I need to do the track Prius thing.
Oh man. So I was going to say in other news, not bug related. So AMD posted its Q1 2021 financial results. This one I thought was just kind of fascinating based on how long it took for AMD to actually start making some positive income with the new Ryzen releases. So year over year, AMD has grossed has a 46% quarterly revenue gross over Q1 2020.
Nice.
Now this can be further broken down, where when you look at what was the specific the section that they split off as AMD Enterprise, Embedded, and Semi-Custom. That one actually had a 286% year-over-year increase, and the speculation right now is that this was related to the fact that the PS5s and the new Xbox, are also on AMD microprocessors, and those things have been selling like hotcakes. So I think that's actually pretty fascinating. Like, it seems like AMD has finally started doing really well with the revenue.
Oh, here it is. So Ian Cuttress posted on Twitter a few days ago. I'm gonna dump this in a couple places.
That's
Voice Lobby. There's Voice Lobby. So he assembled a graph of like AMD's revenue, quarterly revenue, year over year. So that's projected revenue. Okay, I see. Yes, this lines up with the Gregorian calendar, because sometimes financial calendars are weird. So Zen 1, like if you look at that, came out in 2017, but for the entirety of Zen 1's existence, like all the way through Q2 2019, this also includes Zen Plus, which is the same damn architecture. They did not bring in a whole lot more revenue, and it only really ramped up towards the end of 2020, like a year after Zen 2 had been out, and also Navi. Like AMD is only really seeing money now coming in due to Zen, like 5 years on? No, 4 years on.
Yeah. No, but I'm honestly not surprised, because it wasn't really until we got Zen Plus and then moving into Zen 2 where the platform really started to shine. And I mean, we can just look at the marketplace for trying to purchase either a current gen or last gen Ryzen CPU versus the Intel CPU availability. And obviously Intel has a lot more a maturity in terms of their fabs and being able to pump out lots of processors really quickly.
14 nanometer, baby. Plus, haha, XD, funny meme.
Yeah, I mean, but there's still something to be said for Intel does seriously have a more mature fab, and they're able to pump out a lot more of these processors, especially since not a whole lot has really changed aside from some microarchitectural revisions, essentially. Versus AMD, where we know the fabs that they're utilizing are not able to keep up with the current demand, and basically every single CPU that people who have money that they want to spend right now they can get their hands on is going to most likely be out of stock. Now, according to what Dr. Elisa Su said during their presentation in regards to the financial revenue report, she is promising that there's going to be some they're going to be ramping up their ability or their output of silicon moving into Q2 and Q3. I don't expect this to be a confidence-inspiring claim, just because if they increase their output, that just means that yes, there's going to be more CPUs on the market, and maybe the price is going to go back down to MSRP based on what we're currently seeing now. But they're still going to be just as out of stock. They're just going to be in stock and out of stock a lot more frequently.
Dude, I'm gonna be stoked if AMD like starts pumping out 5000 series chips, because that means there's going to be lots of 5000 series chips on clearance sales eventually, and I can get like a 5950X and plop it in my server.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, right. Speaking of 5000 series stuff, so like, you know how AMD hasn't updated the chipsets at all? Is there any word on what X570S is supposed to be? Like, is that confirmed to be low wattage silent X570 variant, or is that just like a couple of fanless motherboard SKUs from like, was it Gigabyte or MSI? I don't know.
I honestly,
Because like I would have looked into this more, but I got a new computer, and frankly, it's too little, too late.
yeah,
It took them nearly 2 years to get this thing out.
the theory right now is that it's just an optimized version of the chipset where fanless cooling is going to be the norm rather than active cooling.
It's just an optimized chipset. You can't optimize that thing. It's the I/O die with like half of it disabled. It's
Listen,
the CPU's Northbridge. It's meant to run hot. Like AMD, the whole thing's a mess. Like the reason it exists in the first place is because ASMedia didn't have any PCIe 4 IP to use in like their own chipset because they had made the last couple generations. So AMD had to step in at like the last minute, I guess, like, well, crap. Well, we got these masks. We were making this on 12 nanometer. Guess we can make it on 14 nanometers, save a few watts, laser off the memory controllers. It's close enough.
Yeah.
It's not a good situation.
I agree.
Like honestly, AM4 as a platform has just seemed really unprofessional to me.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
I need to complain in detail about that at some point. But anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, moving on to our next topic. So GDC 2021 is going to be a thing soon, and as per the annual GDCs, they always perform a survey among industry or developers within the industry to get industry-wide sentiments based on certain digital platforms, game selling trends, and platforms that they like to support or are preferring to support moving forward. So the big or the primary fun one was in regards to the 30/70 revenue split on digital storefronts. So primarily Steam, 30% of the cut goes to Steam, 70% goes to the developer, and I believe on Apple prior to their update. And now, if you are making less than $1 million in gross revenue for that specific game or application, or if you're making more, I should say, it's the same 30/70 split. So last year, there was 6% of the developers they interviewed were in favor of the 30/70 split. This year, it's down to 3%.
6% last year.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said 30% last year.
No.
Yeah, I also heard that.
That's may have been a misspeak. My apologies. Now, in regards to development throughout the pandemic, 44% of developers say that their game suffered a delay due to the pandemic, but then 40% of the studios ended up expanding staff due to encouraged teleworking, which I'm not surprised. So that's neat. PS5 is currently the most popular platform to develop for. PC is or the most popular console, and PC is obviously the number one platform, which makes sense. And
what was the most expensive to develop for?
No, most popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so PS5 is let's see.
That's like 46% of all of Fortnite's revenue is from PlayStation, which was surprising to me.
I thought it was from iPhone, and that's why.
No, iPhone is like 6%.
Wait, really?
Well, 6% now, probably after the whole lawsuit thing.
No, 6% since launch.
Oh,
yeah, no, they're using it because the same precedent could be set for the Xbox store, I believe. They want to use, like, if they win the iPhone case, then they can win the Xbox one because, same model. So, whatever, it's case law. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. So, in terms of interest among the three main platforms, so interest for their primary development platform, 44% said PS5, 38% said Nintendo Switch, and Xbox in general, 30%. I know that doesn't add up to 100, but you know what? That's the numbers on the page. And PC interest.
It could cross over.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. And And yeah, that's pretty much the big takeaway from it. I think it's really funny that ever since the Epic versus Apple thing, that more developers are just actively getting pissed off at Apple and now Steam in regards to the 30/70 split.
I should say it made sense like a while ago, but yeah, nowadays I think it makes less sense to be taking that much.
Because I think that 30% was a standard for like physical stores, but they had other payments that are quite a bit more. Like the rent in a city center is a lot more expensive than the rent of a warehouse in the middle of nowhere.
And honestly, it's probably why games have gone up. They're just like, well, screw it. If they're going to take 30%, we're going to just mark it up so we can get the same profits.
Actually, yes and no, because I looked it up the other day because I remember PlayStation 2 games are really cheap. They were £30 at launch, and then I adjusted for inflation, and right now it's actually about £65 at launch.
Oh, I wish my job would adjust for inflation.
I remember, I remember PlayStation 2 games being $50, and then
what?
360 and PS3 was $60.
Shut up, Chris.
And
I remember them being 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And now
I remember N64 games being $70.
Series
Wait,
X
which ones were $70?
and PlayStation 5.
They're making bad jokes. That's all they're doing.
$70.
No. Honestly, looking back into us acquiring so many PS2 games, because I think by the time we moved on to the PS3, we had like 50 games at our house. All of the games that we purchased, they had to be in the clearance bin, with the exception of games that we got as gifts from either friends or extended family.
But the clearance bin doesn't exist anymore because everything's digital.
I know. Well, I mean, I would say that GOG is probably the exception.
Alex, that's not entirely true.
Oh my God,
Shut up, Chris.
Chris, I don't know what you said, and
Okay,
I'm
fine.
kind of glad.
No, it does though. Like if you go
true.
to like Walmart or Target or something, they have games on clearance there.
So they're
still like $25, but they're
they
on
have a lot
clearance.
of movies in clearance bins, but like with games, the thing is, a lot of like cheap, what would have been $15, $20 games back in the day, those just don't exist anymore because they're all mobile apps.
Yeah.
Like that entire segment of games have just disappeared, and now, you're left with $60, $70 titles on, home consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And then those are further monetized with gambling for children.
What?
Can I go
no.
the Uwu voice now?
No.
Okay.
No, he's talking about loot box based gaming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's gambling incentivized for children.
What about that NBA game that was literally
true.
gambling? Like it was literal
NBA
slot
2K, I
machines.
think.
Yeah, it was
2K 2020, I think.
Honestly, all of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I mean like it was literal slot machines. There was a lot of backlash. I think it was 2K20.
That sounds like something 2K would do.
Well, I mean, you can go even further, like where everything's turning into mobile games, and a lot of the free mobile games are baked in with ads. Why else would they be free? And then there was that, what was it, like 2K21 or something? Or one
I
of the
miss
Madden
Peggle
games?
making good games.
But it was like one of those games that had the baked in ads in between like timeouts and stuff.
Oh, no, I think that was NFL. Some NFL game.
Yeah, it was like Madden, I think.
Here's
You
the
needed
thing.
to buy like a season pass or something to not get those adverts.
the thing about things like
I worked
mobile
on a patent for that before. I'm
that's
not
cool,
allowed to
Kat,
talk
let's
about that. I know, sorry.
Now they don't want you working on any patents.
I know.
the cool thing about like mobile apps is that they're just so inherently devalued that nobody is willing to spend money on them, because you have to consider there are lots of like classic paid for iOS games, for example, that you cannot play anymore because Apple just took them down from the App Store at one point, or if they didn't take them down, like you can only download them on certain devices because they're 32-bit. They were never updated to 64-bit. You can't play them. And yeah, maybe those were genuinely good mobile games, but they don't make them anymore because they don't make money, because like infinitely more people are going to download the crappy free game with ads than are going to spend 99 cents on the same thing without ads. And then you have to consider like productivity stuff as well, where it's like the most basic crap that you can get on your phone costs like, oh, this is $5, or oh, this has a subscription model.
Yeah.
Like they're monetized to hell and back, but they're worth nothing. And I'm kind of like concerned that Windows software is going to go this way as well. And eventually like the shareware kind of model is going to go away. Hopefully at that point, Linux is good enough that you can use that as like a, daily driver. Probably not, but that's the dream.
That's actually reminded me, like iOS games and whatever. For the 10th anniversary of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, those games came to mobile.
That's right.
And coming up in September this year, I think, it's the 10th anniversary for the GTA 5 launch announcement trailer.
GTA 5 mobile, that's going to be interesting.
There won't be one.
No, there's no way.
They got it to run on 360 and PS3. They can make it run on phones.
They can.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening because they're making so much money off of just the desktop version. Then why would they put any effort into trying to port that to mobile?
Because Tencent,
if they make like a fraction of the money they're making from GTA Online on like PC and console, they're gonna make hella dosh on a mobile version as well.
That's
honestly
true.
Yeah, I think it will make a lot of money. Simmons, you're also looking at it from a poor mindset of you're making enough money, even though you make too much money. But they're just looking at it as we could make any amount more money.
Well, I mean...
Oh, yeah. No, I actually looked into that. The DLC stories for GTA 4... Okay, the reason why there isn't a story DLC for GTA 5 is because Take-Two said that the GTA 4 DLCs didn't generate as much profit as they expected.
But
Not
they
like
were still
no profit, but they made a big amount of money on it, but it wasn't as much as they expected.
It wasn't the percentage they were looking for, right?
Yeah.
So if you go with microtransactions, and especially something like, shark cards, you can buy an endless amount of shark cards. It's not even something like gun skins in Overwatch where they have to like keep churning out more of them.
Yeah.
Because, eventually you can own every gun skin in Overwatch. Like there is to some degree an endpoint.
Chris, you wouldn't know because you don't play the game.
I know, I bought it for you and everything.
Wow, remember when you bought it for me and like 2 weeks later, you all stopped playing it because
I still play it, okay? I still play it.
2 weeks later, Chris. It was like months later, nearly.
It was probably, it was like 9 months at minimum.
It was not. And also, you have to remember that when you bought this, it was in the middle of final exams for me. And then I wanted to shoot myself in the face the following break. So
in a video game, we have to specify that on Twitch.
Oh yeah, and Minecraft. Excuse me, it's a cool
mod. Oh no,
Fast and Furious Italy Drift. I don't know if you're showing the stream, so there's probably no context for that.
Oh no, it was a bunch of the knockoff games, right?
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm streaming me playing Assetto Corsa, and I just did a big slide.
Oh, no. I'm not streaming that based on what I said prior to recording.
Oh, okay. Well, it's there for the after show.
Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, I think we said all we have to say about this one. So I included this one just because I thought it was, like, just really funny. So Microsoft put out a big news post on the 29th. One big update for Google Stadia, where they finally are adding a search bar to the Google Stadia.
They finally have enough
dead, isn't it?
That you need to search for them.
It's not completely dead yet.
Yeah, I was going to say that thing still exists.
Yeah, it still exists. And they finally added a Google search bar to.
Oh, hang on, let me find it. Somebody made a Stadia countdown. No, that's not it. It was someone else. This is a wrong Reddit link. Built by Google.com, Google Graveyard. Hang on. dude made a like little website where you can sign in with like a Twitter or a Reddit account and type in your prediction when Stadia will get killed off. And last I checked, it was the middle of 2022. The assumption is that if you ask enough people about it, they will probably get about the right date. So let me see what the prediction is.
Yeah, it's the jelly bean thing.
I'm just going to get an Amazon Luna and call it a day.
An Amazon what?
Luna.
Oh, are they making a console too?
It's not a console.
Pat, I'm very disappointed that you support
service.
Jeff Bezos like this.
Just cocked.
Oh,
here
yeah,
we go.
yeah.
Yeah, you should at least
When
use your
will
Jeff
Google-
Bezos money to give Nyanna's money on Twitch.
Yeah, but
Is
Twitch is
when will
owned by
Google
Amazon,
kill
so
Stadia.com. 504 people have predicted that Stadia will die around August 5th, 2022.
I like this.
And that's probably realistic. 'cause
Honestly, yeah.
They fired like a creative director. They canceled a game like when it was about ready to launch.
They've already
maybe there's no way
downsized.
to do it.
Yeah.
Who, Stadia?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I still stand by it. I still stand by that Stadia was just an experiment that is being done on existing compute infrastructure, because if you look at the specs, it works out to basic ass Xeon Scalable or Xeon D CPUs and stock
Aren't they
standard Radeon Instinct GPUs.
Yes, Stadia
And-
is epic.
Hold on. Let me. So yeah, there's actually I'm not actually able to find some concrete data as to what hardware is actually on the back end. I'm just seeing pictures of Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, Wikipedia says custom Intel. Okay.
So
I
Xeon
hope it's
Scalable is pretty.
Itanium. Bring back Itanium.
Bring back Titanium. No. Yeah. So the other major announcement that was part of this was in regards to Halo Infinite.
Do I have to play the first Infinity -1 Halos to understand Halo Infinite?
No, probably not.
Halo Infinite when the story has an ending.
I'm going to keep making that joke, by the way.
Thanks, Chris. So one of the big announcements that they've announced official crossplay in between PC and Xbox, which I'm not surprised about because it's all on the same backend infrastructure anyway, especially with the stuff through the Xbox store. Now, the other thing that was interesting about this is they stated in here, and I know this is just like, get the PC gamers incentivized to buy our game, but Halo Infinite offers the premier PC experience, and they're going to be offering this on launch on Steam and Epic Game Store, apparently.
I'm really glad that Microsoft has realized that nobody wants to use their store, really. Like, they're still going to push it, but they also realize nobody really wants it.
Yeah.
It's nice. Also, this means that every single Halo game will be on PC now, except for Halo 5.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Halo Wars 2 got ported, albeit
it
on
did.
the Microsoft store.
Yeah, it did.
All Xbox games are now going to be on PC and on Steam now as well, because they realized the store is garbage. You can buy Forza on.
You know what's really
Steam.
frustrating about that is the lack of cross. What's the word? But basically, I bought it on the Windows Store. I can't register it on the Steam Store.
Oh,
yeah,
I
that.
see what you mean.
Yeah, I think that's because the Windows Store is using that proprietary
DRM
universal
thing?
something or other. Yeah, it's not actually running on an EXE or something. I don't know.
Well, it's more that Alex doesn't get a Steam key because he bought it on the Windows Store.
Yeah, just give me a bloody
Yeah.
Steam key to activate it. I don't care.
Well, I mean, but even on games like, I can't remember which it was. It was like, was it in Apex Legends? Was it the 3-man battle royale?
No, what happened is World of Tanks recently came to Steam, and no one can use any of their 10-year-old accounts on this game on Steam. They have to create a brand new spanking account.
What?
For World of Tanks. So go to the Steam page. It's like the score right now is like 17%. It's like one of the worst rated games on Steam.
Wow. Yeah, but in regards,
so go
ahead.
on. Sorry.
No. I'm slightly changing the topic. You continue.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of wondering if, like, at some point, Microsoft is just going to eventually stop selling the Xbox. And instead, Xbox is going to be software, and they're going to have like some standardized reference kit that manufacturers can sell. So you can have like an Alienware Xbox or a MSI Xbox or something.
So you're thinking of basically like a single use case NUC, essentially.
Kinda.
Well, it is going that way because the the new generation, if you want to call it that, the Series S and the Series X are both the same generation, but it's very different hardware.
Yeah, well, it's not very different, is the thing.
It's different
very
power.
differently, but the underlying stuff is the same. It would be like it would be much easier to get a game working on both like a GTX 1050 and 1080 Ti than it would to be getting it working like on a 1080 Ti and like RX 5700, right? Because like you have two drastically different architectures versus the same architecture, but one of them is kind of crap.
Yeah. So in terms of other games that they've immediately announced that are going to be coming to Steam, so Age of Empires 2 and 3, DE, Gears Tactics, Wasteland 3, Minecraft Dungeons, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and soon Age of Empires 4 will all be available through Steam.
I really like that Microsoft is still supporting Minecraft Java Edition because they know that there would be riots if they stopped supporting Minecraft Java Edition.
Well, so that's the thing, though, that I find really interesting about Windows Edition, or basically just that cross-platform edition that exists on everything that's not Java.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of work recently in the modding community that allows Bedrock Edition. That's the term I was looking for. That allows Bedrock Edition to play on Java servers, and it utilizes
That seems interesting because they don't have feature parity, and I feel like not necessarily Bedrock Edition has like different quirks, more like Java Edition is just too damn quirky to work alongside anything else nicely.
Sure, but in terms of like backend infrastructure, even though Bedrock Edition is more stable, from my personal experience, Bedrock Edition just feels a lot more sluggish. And ways that you can get around that, I've noticed, especially in some like heavily modified Vanilla Plus servers, you can actually sync up, or basically by just using client-side locations and client-side commands, you can fully customize how the game feels to the local clients. So say you can do operations twice as fast on the server, and the local client knows nothing better, and what you get visually and what your feel is visually just adjusts. So what they can do is they can just do full server-side control over player inputs and deliver a Java feel. And especially in regards to, some of those weird bugs and quirks that you were especially mentioning with like how chunks render and load, and how like the redstone is handled in terms of broken logic when things are supposed to work correctly, they can just force that data into the Bedrock Edition client to give a very seamless cross-platform experience on a major server.
Very exploitable, but
it is if you don't know how to handle it correctly.
Well, I mean, more like I would be wary about connecting to any like untrusted server.
Well, so I know I've mentioned it before. I don't know if ever on the podcast, but like if the one server that comes to mind for me is 2B2T, aka the very old.
I would not trust the other people on that server.
Because the administrator, I assume it's a team at this point that's maintaining this one single gaming computer that's running this entire server. They basically have to do a lot of proxy servers, because there's been a lot of known exploits in the past, and by going through the proxy servers, they can intercept it and just send those broken clients garbage data. So there are ways to handle it correctly. You just have to think like a hacker and know what these exploits are to be able to do something about it. It's especially with something like 2BTT, where it's basically an unfettered vanilla experience, and there's just some plugins to prevent a couple people from just crashing the entire server. It's some interesting stuff, to say the least. So I know there's a lot of big people in the Minecraft streaming community that are working on like their own mega cross-platform servers, and Bedrock Edition does have some unique benefits from just the server infrastructure that exists, and it is a much cleaner code than what Java Edition produces. But let's face it, the modding community will always flock to Java because Java is just really easy to modify.
But that's also the annoying bit is, yeah, it's easier to modify, but I feel like going forward, it would be a better basis to be on Bedrock.
I would agree if the game didn't feel very drastically different.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm just saying C# versus Java.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I've had this conversation before. If Java Edition could be ran exactly the way it is in C# or C++, then that would be a much better experience. But because of how poorly written Java Edition was, it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
but then also the major modding platforms such as like Forge or Bucket or Spigot or whatever else, they will no longer be supported. And that destroys a major portion of the player base on PC.
Remember when number one of Hatsune Miku's like greatest regrets when she was making Minecraft was that she did it in Java instead of a less crappy language. Number two, I think it was when Microsoft bought Mojang, there was like some big server side mod. I don't remember which one it was now. But like they just yoinked their software, like, okay, that's it. Nobody can use it anymore because we don't like what's going on.
Yeah.
Is really shitty, to be honest. But also, can't really blame them. But yeah, that threw a wrench in like a lot of servers.
All right, so this next article here, moving on, was actually added by Andrews, so I'm going to require him to talk about it a little bit. But as
Wait,
Epic,
why? I don't know anything about it. I just put it there.
Oh, great. Okay, well, let me try to spitball then. So this is a follow-up to the Epic versus Apple thing that we briefly mentioned earlier. Valve is apparently getting sued over Steam now. I don't know who.
Valve is getting sued over Steam.
So Valve owns Steam, remember?
No, I know, just the sentence.
Yeah. So yeah, the developers of Humble Bundle are suing Steam.
Oh, don't.
What?
Humble Bundle.
Wait, why?
That's a good use of money.
So Humble Bundle, apparently, it's related to the fact that Humble Bundle typically sells Steam keys.
Yeah, I have so many of them. I have so many Steam keys.
Yeah, I have Project Cars from you. Thanks, Kat.
Yep, you're welcome.
So apparently Humble Bundle is also suing for kind of the same idea that
I just want to lay a preface here quickly. Don't forget, Humble Bundle recently increased the maximum you can give to charity to 15%.
No, they capped the maximum you can.
That's what I mean. They capped it.
Because Humble Bundle is owned by IGN now, and it's just another store page, another like e-store, basically. It's G2A with better branding. Because it used to be, they're doing charity stuff, and you've got like, not necessarily DRM free, but you've got like cross-platform support for your games. You can get on Windows and Mac and whatnot. And now it's just IGN with a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to buy things from Humble Bundle, but I always gave 100% of the money to charity.
Yeah,
that's what I did as well. I don't think you could do 100%, but it was the slider. I just maxed it out.
I gave as much as I could.
Yeah. I did the same. I did minimum to Humble Bundle.
Yeah,
I just did the monthly thing to get a bunch of.
You also buy
games
from Amazon, so you have no grounds
Now that probably is why they brought in the.
You know,
50%
I
cap.
like to save money, okay? So, like, sorry that
No,
I'd
I know.
rather buy
I'm just
something
being-
for
I'm just-
$3
You're
less
being
on
facetious.
Amazon.
It's fine.
Not facetious. I'm just being a dickhead.
Well, yeah, what else is new?
Okay, so yeah, like the lawsuit is stemming from the 30/70 revenue split that we were referring to before. Now, the thing, the key points that I'm seeing here is strange, because obviously they're comparing against Epic's 88/12% revenue split.
Oh, that's gone up, hasn't it? Wasn't it 90/10?
Probably. I don't really know, so I don't want to say one way or the other.
Sure.
It says that in terms means that rival platforms cannot compete on price, which keeps them from getting a foothold. Most of these game stores have largely given up, like how EA and Microsoft have all brought their games to Steam. And then it says Humble Bundle has been a victim of Valve's practices. The lawsuit claims that, quote, publishers became more and more reluctant to participate in Humble Bundle events, decreasing the quantity and quality of products available to Humble Bundle customers. I understand the sentiment, but I feel like it's really misguided.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure the sentiment's nice, but I wasn't paying attention.
That's fair.
No one's forcing the developers and publishers to put the games on Steam. They're doing it by choice.
Mhm.
It's just
Well,
a
I
really
mean,
big market. Even though they get less of the money, they get a lot more people buying it because it's on such a big platform.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like how Steam sales make developers
Oh,
tons of
Andrew.
money.
that's literally like anti-competitive stuff 101. That yes, exactly. They do have an alternative, but also
because
it's not a very good option.
because there's more guaranteed sales on Steam's. Developers are choosing to lose money by going with Steam.
Yeah, but it's still they could still put them on like other platforms as well. It's not like Epic where you sign a contract that it's going to be an Epic Store exclusive for however many months.
I mean, well, now that there are alternatives, e.g., Epic in particular, yeah, there's like more of an argument against that, but like back in the day, like Steam was about it.
So
You wanted to do digital distribution.
yeah, so I guess to put some comparisons in there, so Apple and Google stores are now down to $15.85, and Epic and Microsoft are $88.12.
God, I really hope that like Apple loses in this court case, but I want them to lose in such a way that like M. Sweeney just throws a hissy fit over it and is very angry because, God, he's a smug bastard.
Yeah, just because of Tim Sweeney, I want Apple to win, but I also don't want Apple to win because that'll be terrible for everyone.
I recognize that it's a good thing for Apple to lose, but I really can't be on Epic's side here.
Oh yeah, by the
Although,
way,
That said, very, very creative move making a Apple 1984 parody ad in Fortnite about how Apple is censoring you to get children
Oh, yeah.
on your side.
Oh,
in
God.
your hissy fit.
Yeah.
The children would have forgot about it like a couple of hours later. They should have like aimed at like adults.
Well, I mean, admittedly, the adults are the ones that are still latched on to that entire ad campaign. So, anyway, one last quick topic. I thought this was funny because we were talking about space debris a couple weeks ago. So, apparently, the European Space Operations Center, based out of Darmstadt, Germany, they're now looking into utilizing AI to help spacecraft avoid debris when going into orbit.
Just don't put debris in space.
Well, it's already there. That's the problem.
It's a bit harder than you might think.
we should
Also,
launch all our nukes up in the air and just use it to blow out the debris.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll probably close a hole in the ozone layer as well. Trust me, I read something on the internet.
I don't. What, Andrew? What did you send here? Her shoulders do not line up.
Oh yeah, it looks weird. That's why I sent it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, unless anybody else has any last minute topics they want to bring up, this is your guys' cue.
Jeff left Overwatch.
Wait, what?
Jeff left Overwatch.
Jeff Kaplan, who was the lead developer for Blizzard or Overwatch at Blizzard, left to a competitor that shall be not named. So, as in, he didn't give the name. So that's very interesting because he's been there for like 20 years. What's also interesting is that I don't know if you know about Frost Giant. It's a bunch of old Blizzard developers that worked on Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo that have all left make Frost Giant, and they're making not StarCraft 3 probably.
Oh wait, was this like Obsidian's a big announcement at like one of the E3s where they're like from the developers of the good of the
no Frost Giant is brand new.
Okay, yeah, okay, so
like established in November 2020 brand.
I'm actually surprised I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's neat. So when you say he left Overwatch, you specifically mean he left Blizzard.
Yeah, but he's like the head developer for Overwatch pretty much.
Gotcha.
He's also the face of Blizzard for Overwatch, delivering all the updates and like, hi, I'm Jeff from Blizzard. Here's the new Overwatch game, blah, 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 blah. So
fair enough.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. All right, so I think that's actually a good wrapping up point. For our audience viewers, thank you all for listening live. Stay tuned. We'll be going for our after show shortly after this. And for our recorded listeners, stay tuned to next week's episode. So yeah, thanks and
bye-bye.
Thanks, Jack. All right.